What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Going on like the video and appreciate all you guys being here. Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another live stream. I'm your host, Josh from KeepItTechie. I appreciate all you guys coming through. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate it. Go on, hit that like button, and shout out to my wife, holding me down. She say, greetings, KeepItTechie fam. Please feel free to share and please hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it in advance. Yeah, appreciate it. What's up, Kev Tech and NC Worker, my man? First one in the building. I definitely appreciate you coming through. Uh, I see everybody in here. I appreciate you guys for coming through and everything. And today is kind of like a spontaneous live stream because I didn't get to do anything yesterday. My wife's birthday was like last weekend, and so I hosted kind of like a little get together yesterday. The weekend after or whatever. And so I was, up at 4 in the morning, grilling and all kind of stuff yesterday. So I ain't really get to do nothing yesterday. I'll do a live stream like I normally do, which I'm trying to just keep this thing rolling like every Saturday, whether I got a guest or not. I'm gonna be in the building talking about something either I saw in the news or talk about a topic that's related to tech or dealing with the tech industry, getting people into the tech industry, or something Linux related. And today I wanted to talk about some stuff that's Linux related. And I wanted to cover a little article that I found that dealt with the top like Linux distros to actually check out for the year of 2022. You know what I'm saying? There have been a lot of new releases. You know what I'm saying? This is just something I wanted to. I don't know. I kind of agree with the list that they put out, and I just kind of wanted to cover it, with everybody, on the live stream and everything. But appreciate all you guys coming through. You know what I'm saying? Again, hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. And also it's September 11th. So just throwing that out there that I know that it's a bad day in the US or whatever. And it's always a day of like remembrance of what happened on, 9/11. So, yeah, I know that affected a lot of people in New York, all over the country. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to at least recognize that, it is 9/11. So, and I try to stay away from holidays, period. Doing things on holidays. But whatever, I just wanted to, come on, because like I said, I want to keep this thing rolling on the weekends where, people can, I don't know, interact, on the live streams. That's the whole thing I like about live streams. It allows people to interact, in the chat. And by you making comments, I can definitely, respond right away versus the comments under the video. Sometimes it's kind of hard. Like I'll miss certain comments or something. If you ask me on the live stream, I go through it. You know what I'm saying? I'll break out a virtual machine, try to go through it, and try to fix it or give you a fix or whatever if I can. But all right, let's roll over to the article that I wanted to cover. And like I said, I agree with this list. It was a good list that I saw. It was on Dig United. Let me know if you guys can see. Oh yeah, you can't. My bad. You should be able to see it now. Okay. And it basically states, best Linux distros that you could try in 2022. You know what I'm saying? I read through the list, and I meant to do a video, my own like personal video of all my personal, I don't know, favorite distributions that I've, you know, found out or looked into or used in virtual machines recently or whatever that I thought was super cool for this year. And I may do that closer to the end of the year. Just put out a video talking about some of the top, Linux distributions for this year. Um, but it basically states, and I think I already read the title, but whatever. Best Linux distributions that you can try in 2022. And I see a couple more people coming in. Shout out to you guys. JM, I see you. He says, thank you for your service, but yeah, appreciate it. Greetings, Melissa. Uh, yeah, yeah, I followed you back on Instagram. Yeah, good to see you in the chat. I definitely appreciate it. And Melissa has a good channel on as well. And so anybody I see that's doing something positive, I try to share, so she does have a good channel as well. And I see you, Alonzo Smith, uh, Guillermo Morrison. Good to see you. He says, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to you as well. But in this article, it basically says I have been using Linux for over two years. That's what this person, states now, and truly has immense benefits compared to other operating systems. Uh, and I'm sorry, immense benefits. Linux was developed to be free, secure, and affordable to everyone. Let's get to see the top Linux distros that you can try out in this day and age. And so I'm gonna skip this because it's basically gonna talk about, what is Linux, what is a Linux distribution. And if you guys didn't know, I did um, a course on an introduction to Linux. That link should be down in the description of the video. If you guys want to check that out, it's a 3 hour, little bit less than a 3 hour video on an introduction to Linux. So that kind of covers all that. What is Linux? What is a distribution? But the first one on the list is Pop OS, and I haven't done a review on Pop OS in a while. Pop OS is an awesome introductory Linux distribution that I definitely recommend. I always talk about either Linux Mint, Pop OS, Ubuntu. Those are kind of like the introductory distributions. They can be advanced, once you get into it and start playing around with it, but it's user friendly, what I'm saying, very user friendly, so that's definitely something I think you guys should check out. But it says the pros, I'm gonna just read out their pros. But it says it's the most developed friendly distro around. Now, one thing about Pop OS that I could throw out there is it's created or maintained by a company. It's a company behind it, called man, and I lost it that fast. Hold on. I know System 76. So System 76, they actually are like the number one company that sells Linux laptops. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like independent. We all know Dell does it. I think Lenovo they sell Linux laptops or laptops with the hardware specifically designed to run Linux, and you can get Linux installed on it when you purchase it from some of those big companies. But System 76 is totally independent from any of these major, corporations that sell laptops. Um like that you would get from like Best Buy, all those major brands. System 76 is totally separate. But they have a distribution that's developed called Pop OS. And that's what they put on all their laptops. Now, Pop OS is based on Ubuntu, but they kind of like redesign this whole thing or whatever and make it a whole lot user friendly for people. They use the right application or the applications that they see that make things a whole lot user friendly. So Pop OS, I definitely agree with that on being on the list. It's very user friendly. And then it says the user interface is minimalist but incredibly efficient. It says a fast upgrade process. Yeah, that's true. The Pop OS store can be buggy when installing new software. Yeah, but like I said, Pop. This the link to it. So Pop System 76, and like I said, they the ones that created. They got these. And now that I think about it, on live, I could just show you guys there. And I'm not sponsored by Pop or System 76. I tried to hit them up years ago, to see if they could possibly allow me to look at some of they hardware, but I wasn't big enough, you know what I'm saying, for them to actually, I guess take a chance on me, which is fine. I understand. You could be, sending hardware to somebody that's never gonna do anything with it, you know what I'm saying, or never put any information out there. But yeah, just going to their laptops, they got, a couple different, laptops that you could buy, and it's all depending on the hardware. And then each one of them they build for you. That's part of the process. When you purchase the laptop, it may take a couple weeks for them to actually ship it out, because they actually go in, they have someone that goes in, builds the laptop out for you based on the specs, because you can make all the selections you want. And it was cool to actually see that when I first seen that, when I was looking in the system 76, because I didn't see that anywhere else, for Linux laptops. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I think they like one of the biggest, like separate, um, laptop manufacturers that has their own Linux distribution that they sell. Um, and it's crazy. I still got something in the court. Oh no, it's gone. I did have something. I was looking at one of the laptops a while back, but it's the Galago Lemur Pro, the daughter. I think that's the one I was finna get. No, I was finna get one of the ones with the AMD processor, and they probably don't even have it anymore. I thought it was this Orox Pro or the Gazelle. It might have been a Gazelle. I'm not sure. One of them I was planning on get. It had an AMD processing. I wanted to get a Ryzen. And maybe they don't do it on their laptops anymore, because I know they constantly, figuring out what they want to do with their laptops. But super cool. You can go in here, design and buy. Like the Galago, I'm gonna just go that out one. But it allows you to select everything. You can put Pop OS on it, with full disk encryption, and they do it all for you. And then Ubuntu, you can do Ubuntu 22.04. So they'll put whatever you want on it as far as those two. The processor, you select what processor you want. They got an i5, i7 for this model. Now that's where the prices go up, because yeah, the starting price is 900. Just so you guys know, these laptops can be a little expensive. Like, they'll put the price on where it starts, but once you start adding specific hardware to it, yeah, it could easily be a $2,000 laptop. So like this right here, $200 more to get the i7 in this laptop. And then you can get your RAM already, ready to go for it. You ain't got to go search on Amazon looking for, the right speeds and the right DIMMs and all that stuff. They'll put everything in there for you. DDR4, you can get 64, up to 64 in the laptop. That's crazy. Obviously 232-bit. 232 gig um RAM, sticks in there. But they'll put it in there. But yeah, look at that. The price. Let's say I want 64. Let's say I want 32. Let's be a little reasonable. So 32, what did it say on the price? Yeah, plus 136. Okay. And that's weird that these two are that's minus. Hold on. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah. Cause I had this selected, put the minus on there. So yeah. So 32 gigs of memory, OS drive. You can select whatever drive. They got the M.2 SSDs, which is super dope. You know what I'm saying? You can select up to what? and it's all based on the read speeds, I think. Yeah. The read and write speeds. So this is the cheaper one, 250. Let's do a um read and write speeds of 3500 megabytes per second. Let's try that. So 1 terabyte drive. Then you can get some accessories. They got an extra charger. You don't have to get that, but let's see. They got keyboards you can get with it. Yeah, and this is the crazy part about it. They have a whole bunch of, different new products that they always bring into the table. So, and and man, this did turn into setting up a laptop to buy. But you got your display. You can put a specific display in it. So that's cool. Or add a different display. Then your laptop bag, yeah, all your accessories. Then you got warranty. That's one thing about it. Limited ports and labor warranty for 1 year. So that's dope. You got a 2-year warranty and a 3-year warranty. So it all depends. And then the shipping down here, if you can in Canada, then that'll take it up too. And then you can rush the assembly service. Like I said, someone is sitting there putting this whole laptop together for you. You know what I'm saying? You specify everything. And I know that happens at the other, big corporations, but I don't know. It's just, and then they even send you something saying this laptop was put together by X, person or whatever. And they installed the OS, they tested everything, and then they ship it out to you. And what it says right here, once you order and verify, it's sent to assembly. Rush assembly guarantees shipment in stock for within 3 business days, and normal assembly typically ships within 10 bit. So it does take a little time for you to actually get your laptop once you pay for it, and that's kind of what happened with my server when I bought it too. And then they'll also send you a shipping label if you want to donate your old laptop, which I thought was super cool. But just selecting that, it's $1,500. And this is the smaller one, the Galago laptop. And I went down the rabbit hole looking at their laptops, and that's one thing I really like about System 76, their laptops that they have. And let's see, they got desktops as well. I like their desktops the way they used to look. I think they still that way with the wood on it. That's like totally different from anywhere else I've seen in the in the industry as far as like a desktop. It's got the wood on it. They shape the wood and they put it on there for you. That's dope. I don't know. I really like the way they desktops look, and I was thinking about just getting one with an AMD Ryzen just to do my editing on, just to have a separate one. They're just expensive. Like this is the Threadripper, or you can get that Core X CPU with up to 253 gigabytes memory. GeForce GPU, that 3090 Ti. Up to 88 terabytes, which I wouldn't. Whenever you order in a desktop, you ain't gotta get a bunch of drives from them. You know what I'm saying? You can get drives for cheap. You know what I'm saying? I know that costs a little bit more money. Just get the one for the operating system, and then get whatever drives you want. Like I always get the well, it all depends on what I'm doing with it. But like I got a NAS, I went and got the red drives, and put that in the NAS. Marathon Performance, the Thelion. Man, that's got the dual Xeon CPUs. So yeah, it can get up there. Oh, the Thelio Mega. Wow, Threadripper Pro 5000 WX series CPUs. Dang, $6,000. Yeah, and I'm not rich at all. And then they got the Mini kind of competing with what's the little Mac? The little Mac Mini. So the Meerkat, yeah. So that's dope that they had it as well. And then what was that? They do have servers as well that you could get. Blade servers. You can get those, installed or built out, sent to you, fully configured and everything. ELAN servers. The 1U, and you got to contact for those prices, and the 2U one. So All right, enough about System 76, because you know, they not, I don't work with them. I want you guys to know I don't work with them. I'm not advertising for them. I don't have no code or nothing, so I can't get you no discount. But it's an awesome company. Regardless, if I work with them or not, it's still an awesome company. And anyway, that's number one on their list. And I don't think these are in any type of order, like from best to least, on this list. And oh man, hold on, I'm missing out on the comments, man. Let me go. I gotta scroll up, bro. Hold on, let's see. Uh oh, y'all having conversations with, that's cool, that's cool. See, I use Debian um in my laptop, and the old workstation Debian testing works excellent. Yeah, that's cool, man. JM says, because I know some manufacturers do RDP to customers when troubleshooting computers still covered under warranty. Yeah, they do that. Some of them do that. Calvin Henderson, he says, good afternoon. Have you tried Cubis OS? Yes, I have. It's very hard, and then I don't know. I haven't tried it in a while because I found it very difficult to get the thing up and going in a virtual machine. And I don't like to put things because I only got like one laptop. I got another laptop that I use for some other stuff. But I try not to put um I try to do everything virtualized for my videos. And it was kind of hard for me to record something, physical hardware using Cubase. Now I know it's a way to get it in a virtual machine, but it was just too difficult trying to figure out how to do it. Alex says, can you learn Linux without spending? Yes, you can. That's how I learned Linux, Alex. 100%, all online. Uh, uh, YouTube is a great resource. I've always said this on my channel. You can learn how to use Linux by watching YouTube videos. And then the most important thing about Linux is the community. That's one reason I like Linux, because of the community. Like, if you run into problems, most people have ran into those problems before. All you gotta do is go out there, and read their forum boards. They have forum boards. They have most of these bigger distributions. That's why I tend to tell people that are new to Linux to get one of these major Linux distributions like Pop OS, Linux Mint, because they have a huge community behind it. And if you run into problems, you can go to those forum boards or the documentation, and it'll point you in the right direction or give you a solution to whatever problem that you're trying to fix. And also, I see my man uh Mitchell in here. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you, bro. Definitely appreciate you coming through. Um Oh, and I had to scroll up, but I missed a whole bunch of stuff. So JM says, does Linux come with antivirus or firewall pre-installed like Microsoft Defender, bro? So Linux doesn't have much antivirus. There is some antivirus software out there that you could put on it. But the way Linux is built is kind of a little bit way more secure than, Microsoft. And then also, um, a lot of, I don't know, people that write malicious code, they really not trying to go after Linux. Well, nowadays they are, but that was one of the things that made Linux a lot more secure, is because they didn't really write malware and all that stuff for the Linux operating system, because majority of the computers in the world use some form of Microsoft. And so obviously you want to hit them as many computers as you can, right? If you're a malicious actor, so to speak, then they were writing stuff. It was more profitable for them to write stuff to attack Microsoft systems, Microsoft Server, Microsoft desktops, that ransomware stuff that's been going on. A lot of that happens on Windows operating systems. That's because majority of like these small government entities, like I remember a police station got hit, with ransomware. They using Microsoft. They probably had an older version of Microsoft or something with a whole bunch of vulnerabilities in it. And that's how somebody clicked on a link, and the malware spread throughout the whole police station and shut down the whole police station. So most, organizations use some form of Microsoft. So that's why they would write that code for it. But just to get back to Linux, Linux does come with a firewall pre-installed. All you have to do is activate it. But it'll block every port, and I go through a lot of that stuff in a lot of my videos. So if you ever need help, just look at my videos. Like UFW comes pre-installed on a lot of these distributions that I'm finna show you on this list. So all you gotta do is turn it on. It's a simple application that you go in, you find it, you just turn on your firewall. I don't know why some of them come with it turned off, but um whatever. Majority of the time, all you have to do is go in and turn it on. You know what I'm saying? So, or at least verify that it's on. All right, so yeah, Dell Lab types. Oh boy, what's up, KeepItTechie, man? Good to see you, bro. Never work in a job environment. Dell laptops never work. Yeah, yeah. I had headaches with a lot of Dell laptops. I think they had a contract with the government, well, with the army, and so every laptop I ever used while I was in the army was a Dell laptop, majority of the time, or Lenovo as well. But I think they had a big government contract where they provided a whole bunch of computers, throughout the army. And I'm not just talking about like one unit. I'm talking about like even when I traveled, when I went overseas, with the military, um, it was Dell computers majority of the time. Dell everywhere. I think that's how they were still able to hang on. Cause to me, Dell was almost like Gateway. You remember the Gateway computers with the cow print? They, they probably would have, disappeared like Gateway disappeared. You know what I'm saying? But they grabbed that government contract, you know what I'm saying? So that's how they was able to stick around, I guess, all this time making all these laptops and stuff. And then, and I'm talking about like early 2000. So let's see. Linux requires the desired. Yeah, yeah. Hold on, Alex. He says, "Can you?" Yeah, and just to add, Calvin is right. Yes, you can, Alex. Linux requires desire to learn. Yeah, exactly. Because all the information is out there for Linux, for you to learn Linux. Yeah, Mitchell says System 76 computers come with core boot, and open source replacement of proprietary BIOS firmware. Yeah, that's dope. It cuts out the backdoor and bloat that slows down startup. Yeah, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I'm trying to catch up. Hold on. I seen something else. Many cores mean more processors. Um, nah, you can have a whole bunch of cores in one processor, if that's what you asking. Like you can have like for instance, my server has 6 cores in it, but it also has it has. Hold on, maybe I'm saying this all wrong. Hold on. The cores and then the threads. That's what I'm thinking about. Threads. So like I got 6 cores and 6 threads. So each core has 6 threads, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. I think that's right. I think that's right. Yeah, something like that. Let me see. Thanks. I have to go look at it again. KeepItTechie says, KeepItTechie planning on buying it. Nah, I'm not planning on buying a spaceship. I ain't got no money like that. Alex says, yeah, he's thanking Calvin. Shout out to you, bro. Do you ever run a SQL database off the NAS? No, I don't. I don't, Gilmore. I don't run SQL databases off of my NAS. But I think you can. See, I have a I'm about to forget the name of the NAS. Synology. I have a Synology NAS. And they have their own, and it's crazy. They run Linux as the operating system on the NAS. You know what I'm saying? That's the actual. It's a Linux like their own little distribution for Synology that they created to manage the NAS itself. It's interesting. It's dope. Once I got one and I tested it out, I tried it. It's all Linux, you know. Basically so familiar, you know what I'm saying? But they have a whole bunch of apps in there. And I think they do have something where you can run MySQL on it. Um I know you got apps for pretty much a lot of things you want to do. Like you can run a Plex server on it, which I know you've seen videos of that, plenty of videos of that. But they have a whole bunch of tools that you can install on it. You can, I think, web server, you can do a web server off of it, all kind of stuff. I just use it to share things around my network that I need and back up all my videos from my channel. That's mainly why I use it, and my laptops and stuff. My kids' laptops and homework and all that stuff. They got their own accounts. They store everything up there. So let's see. System 76 is expensive for me. One day maybe. Yeah, it is. It's expensive. And I need to catch up. Let me see. The nature of Linux being open source allows the users to evaluate source code of the software and see if it's malicious. Yes, that's true. I'm glad you pointed that out. So check out Gilmore Morris's comment. KeepItTechie says, "Does Linux come with pizza?" Let me stop. LOL. Yeah. Calvin. Yeah, that is true. Yep. Professor Black Ops in the building. What's up, man? He says I'm old. I'm on IP tables. Yeah, and that's essentially what back to the firewalls. That's essentially what UFW is. UFW is an acronym. It stands for Uncomplicated Firewall. Essentially what the name of it is. And what it's doing is sitting on top of IP tables. It's writing the rules out for you. Essentially for IP tables. So if you really want to get into firewalls and how it works, then you want to learn IP tables like Professor Black Ops, because what UFW does, it just writes out the commands for you and run them on IP tables, like close this port, or allow these ports, block these ports, all those commands that you will write with IP tables. That's what UFW is doing. It's just making it easy for you to use. You just click a button or you type in what port you want to, and it'll write out the command for you for IP tables and block it. Essentially, that's what it's doing. All right, so I think I done caught up. Let me see. What's something else, Mitchell? I don't want to miss his comments. Let's see. Linux comes with the ingredients for pizza, but you have to bake it yourself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. Let me see. All right, so back to the article. So Linux Mint is number 2 on their list. It says this is good if you are new to Linux or transitioning from Windows. Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed while using Linux Mint. It's very simple to use. It's similar to, a window, like looking at a Windows system. You know what I'm saying? You got the start menu over here. It's almost like running Windows 10. You know what I'm saying? So I point people to that. You can put your desktop links on there for all your applications, all that stuff. Now, I don't know why they put this on there or why they even ever. I think it's because it's popular because of, and that's the thing, man. Like Kali Linux it shouldn't be more. I don't see it. It should be marketed as a desktop Linux, even though you can use it for that. But what's the point of having all these forensics and pen testing tools on a desktop Linux that you're just planning on going on the internet? You know what I'm saying? Now I understand some of the security features that they have, like they have the built-in proxy chain. You can turn that on, so if you can run your connection through proxy chains, you can, and as well as a VPN and like the Tor network, accessing the Tor network. But Kali Linux is really not a desktop Linux distribution at the end of the day, where you're just using it for daily computer usage. It really serves a purpose. The whole purpose of Kali Linux is for pen testing or was it cyber analysis, analysis of malware, different types of tools that are on it is mainly built for that. So when I hear people say, oh yeah, I'm my first time using Linux, I'm gonna install Kali Linux, and I'm like, and I think it's only because of the movies or the TV shows, the hacking TV shows and all that stuff. That's what made it so popular. But Kali is really, to me, and that's to me. I know there's people out there that probably won't agree with me, but it's, to me, it's not a desktop Linux distribution. It's a distribution with a purpose for cyber security, or let's say you do offense, you know what I'm saying? I kind of try to stay away from the hacking stuff or whatever, or talk about it, but because I don't want to. Some of my videos have got like demonetized by me talking about hacking or talking about the other side of it. Even though I'm not advocating for it. I mean, I don't know, they look at it like, oh, you advocating for hacking or something. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what people use, or I talk about it and showing people what people use. You know what I'm saying? That's mainly what it's about. But I don't know. A lot of people won't agree with me, but I don't look at Kali Linux as desktop Linux. But it's on the list, but it says Kali is Debian derived Linux distribution and customized for penetration testing and security auditing. Yeah, all those tools, they come pre-installed. You can install more tools, on it. It works great, you know what I'm saying? But I would never install it as my daily driver, because I don't have a need for it. I'll put it in a virtual machine and use it to learn how to use those tools. But also at the end of the day, real hackers don't use like Kali Linux. They install whatever they want and then just put all those tools on whatever distribution they're using. I know a lot of people, they use Arch, you know what I'm saying? They just install all those same, because you can install all these same tools that come on pre-installed on Kali Linux on whatever distribution you want to install it on. So whatever. That's just my thoughts. It says it's available in 32-bit, 64-bit version. Yeah. It has a high level of security and stability, and active Kali Linux bug tracker. So it's good. It's heavily developed on, and that's mainly because of the audience that is suited to. And then they even say it in here. It says not suitable for beginners. And like I said, I cringe every time I hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm trying to learn Linux. I'm trying to learn Linux. I'm finna install Kali Linux." And I'm like, okay, you might want to. And I don't want to make them feel bad, but I'm like, bro. I mean, if you never use Linux, it's gonna look crazy to you. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend, Linux Mint, and that's the thing. I can't tell people what to do, but I recommend, Linux Mint or some one of these easier to use Linux distributions until you get the hang of the command line. If you don't understand the command line, none of those tools gonna help you anyway. Majority of those tools are ran from the command line. That's another thing. So whatever. It's just my thoughts. It says, in addition to Kali Linux, is regularly updated and keep up with the latest exploits and security vulnerabilities found in most popular software. So yeah, check out Kali Linux if you want to, but that's on the list. That's an awesome one. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Going to head out, need to go. Yeah, shout out to you, KeepItTechie. Thanks for stopping by. Gillimore says Kali can be a daily driver, but there is a better tool for the proper purpose. Yeah, exactly. For me, Kali is the system I heard of the most. Yeah, and that's why, because of all right, my favorite show, Mr. Robot. That's what he used on there. Yeah, Kali Linux. So in a lot of these hacking movies, they talk about Kali Linux. Now, MJ, Parrot Linux is still around. It's still awesome distribution as well. Same thing as Kali, and actually let's go to it right fast. But Parrot Linux is another one just like Kali Linux. It's the exact same thing. It comes with everything pre-installed, Parrot security, Check them out. They basically doing the exact same thing as Kali Linux. It's just Kali Linux got that push because of TV. You know what I'm saying? But Parrot, I actually like the design of it. I like the way it looks. But like I said, they market this stuff. I mean, they telling you what this is mainly created for. It says Parrot Linux provides a huge arsenal of tools, utilities, and libraries that IT and security professionals can use to test and assess the security of their assets in a reliable, compliant, and reducible way. So that's what this distribution and that's the thing with throughout the Linux world. Once you start learning about it, throughout the Linux world, um, Linux distributions, a lot of them are created for a specific purpose. There's a purpose behind a lot of them. It's good. You can kind of categorize a lot of them. Some of them are desktop Linux, just for your average users or power users, or just people just want to use the internet, just have a desktop environment to actually use the internet or whatever, program a little bit and all that stuff. They have some that's built for specifically programming, and that's why I always talk about the flavors of Ubuntu. I go through a few of them, the flavors of Ubuntu, but Ubuntu has a whole bunch of flavors and they're built for a specific purpose. So if we go, let's see, community, let's see, download, should be under one of these. Ubuntu flavors. Here we go. So you can't click on it. Hold on, let's go Ubuntu desktop, and maybe you can go to it. See alternatives. Well, that's fine. I could have just showed you over there. Let me just go back over there where I had it up down here. Yeah, Ubuntu flavors. So new ways to experience Ubuntu. A lot of these distros, and let's just click on a couple of them, are built for a specific purpose. Like, and then also the desktop environment. That's where a lot of these flavors come from. It's really the desktop environment for a lot of these. Like, Kubuntu is KDE. Shout out to Chris Titus Tech. Shout out to him, man. I think this is this the KDE one? I can't remember. Yeah, KDE Plasma. So that one comes with it. KDE Lubuntu, it comes with what is it? LX? Is it LX? No, I don't know. Lubuntu is a complete operating system that ships with essential apps and services for daily usage. What is Lubuntu for? I can't remember. Oh, Qt, most advanced desktop interface. What is it? Is it LXQT? I believe. Yeah, LXQT, I believe. Whatever. It's built on that desktop environment. Let's see this. The Mate one. Oh, this the one. Yeah, Mate. And then they have this one is built for a specific purpose. This goes to my point. What I'm saying. This one is built for people that do a lot of music editing, video editing, Ubuntu Studio. So this was built for a specific purpose: audio, graphics, video, photography, all that type of stuff. And then I'm trying to think of the one. It's like Linux distros out there to manage your hard drives. What's that application that you use to manage your hard drive? But they have a live ISO for that, specifically to partition your drives, fix drives. I forget what it's called, but it's a live ISO you can boot into and fix hard drives. It's a whole bunch of Linux distributions out there that are just built for a specific purpose, and that's what Kali Linux was built for. It was in Parrot OS. It was built for security, pen testing, and all that stuff. That's why they have courses and all kind of stuff over there that they push. They even have industry level certs over there at offensive security that are recognized in the industry. So anyway, enough about that rant. You know what I'm saying? Let me see who else. If you want a hacking distro that can be used as a desktop system. Parrot OS has a desktop version. Yeah, Parrot OS, like I said, that one's, to me, that one looks a whole lot better. So glad you pointed that out, Mitchell. Shout out to you. Joe Blow, he says bug bounty programs are a good offensive option. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Professor Black Ops, he says Mitchell, Parrot OS is a great security distro I use to teach that OS and Kali OS. Yeah, and they're essentially the same thing. Why no one talk about Kali Parrot MJ? It's because Kali is, is talked about in the on TV and all that stuff. So all right, so Kali is one of many distros that is made for a specific user. Yeah, exactly, Caesar. Melissa, is Rocky Linux on your list? No, and this is not my list. This is just a list that I found. And I kind of agree with the list, so that's why they're not on here. But Rocky Linux is actually, they're in the article I'm finna read after this. So thanks for for asking that question. Chaos Rain says command line is easy to understand, but it takes practice. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let me see. I don't want to miss nobody comment. Caesar, he says the good of Linux is, in my case, I can install all the software that make Kali a security. Yes, and that's what I was trying to say. You can install all that software on any distribution, any Linux distribution that you install. You know what I'm saying? Um, Let me see. What about DNF install and zipper install? Yeah, I mean, that's just the package manager that's used on different distributions. That's what kind of distinguishes some of those different distributions is the package manager. Like for instance, the next one I was going to get to is Arch Linux. It used the Pacman package manager. While a lot of these other ones are Debian based, like Kali, Linux Mint, and Pop OS, they're Debian based. They use apt or apt-get, you know what I'm saying, to install applications or packages. DNF, I think that's and I don't want to say the wrong one, but because I don't use those distributions that often, but DNF is ran on Fedora, I believe, and Zipper. That's like CentOS or something to that effect. Or I know Rocky. I think Rocky uses that. One of those distributions. I don't want to mix them up and tell you the wrong information. But they're essentially a package manager for a different distribution. Let me see. Let's see. Apt installers for Debian. Yeah, Calvin is answering it right there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah. So the next one, Arch Linux. Arch Linux is the next one on the list. It basically says it's kind of like for advanced users, which once you understand Linux, it's really not that advanced. Because when you build out Arch Linux, you're essentially building out, or you actually doing all the commands yourself. Like with all these other distributions, it has an installer that takes you through the process of installing it. Setting up your locales, partitioning your hard drives, and then going through the install. Well, Arch Linux, you just basically have to do it all from the command line, and you can. That's one thing that makes Arch so popular, because you can install what you want on the operating system from the ground up. Yeah, you got your Linux kernel, the Linux is there, but you set everything up. Set up the bootloader, the desktop environment, the window manager. You install everything that you want yourself. And you're right, Calvin. Zipper is SUSE, OpenSUSE. Yeah, DNF, Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Rocky, and Alma. Yes, thank you, bro. Thank you, because I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, Arch Linux, they consider it like for power users, but it's not that difficult. You just got to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're gonna be sitting there for hours trying to get this thing installed. It's not for people that just want to get up and running on a Linux distro. If you're not really new to it, I mean, if you new to Linux, then just go with one of these other distributions where it has an installer. Otherwise, Arch Linux, you'll be sitting there for hours trying to figure it out and get it installed. And shout out to Game Over. I see you, man. I definitely appreciate the super chat. Definitely appreciate it, bro. It's always welcome. Now the next one is Ubuntu, and I talk about Ubuntu all the time. Ubuntu is like kind of like one of where I started with Linux. I think it was like Ubuntu 12 or something to that effect. That's what I was introduced to Linux on, which was Ubuntu desktop. And I remember, they had the um, Compass you can get installed on there with the spinning desktops. I remember seeing that. I was super excited. I was like, man, that's dope. I want to be able to do that. You can't do nothing like that on Windows unless you download like one of those packs or whatever that they have that was filled with viruses back in the day, where you could put like themes and stuff on Windows. I can't even remember what the name of that was, but um you can, kind of customize Windows a little bit. But with Ubuntu, when I first seen that Compass and, all the features you could do with it, you have multiple desktops, you can move things around, you can spin the screen around, and that was dope. So that was all on Ubuntu. That's why I was introduced to it. But it says it's best for beginners and working professionals because you can get right up and running with it. It has all the software support, everything in pretty much any and everything you could think of. um as far as Linux software is tested and all that stuff on Ubuntu. They use it, they put it out there in their repository and all that stuff. So that's why I always recommend Ubuntu as well. It's a good choice, for new users to actually use Linux, get it up and going. It's a little bit different, like from Windows, you know what I'm saying, and or like Linux Mint, how Linux Mint kind of looks like Windows. Well, Ubuntu is a little bit different, you know what I'm saying, especially with the new version of GNOME that they came out with. It's different, you know what I'm saying, but it's not that difficult to figure out as a new user. Now Calvin says one main thing Arch has is, I believe, is a running kernel update, whereas other distros validate some level of stability prior to kernel updates. Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, with that's another reason with Arch that makes it not really for beginners, because you can run updates on your system, and if you've never rolled back packages or uninstalled packages and installed based on a previous version, everything is not 100% tested, and your system could fail or something, and you're trying to figure out what the problem is. Now, one good thing about Arch, the Arch their site, archlinux.org, they on top of it. Whenever it's a bug out there or something to that effect, they always put the solution out there as quick as possible. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Arch community is very awesome. I really liked it. Once I started using Arch, I had to go in there. They have everything, any and everything you could think of is in that Arch repository. I mean that Arch, not the repository. I was going to say the AUR, but on their website. Their website is top notch when it comes to figuring out stuff and solutions that they put out there for issues that pop up with the distribution. They're real big on putting that information out. And another good thing about Arch, they got the Arch user repository, so you can get a whole bunch of software installed using the AUR. But back to Ubuntu though, user friendly, you know what I'm saying, and it's an awesome desktop Linux. Definitely recommend. It says user friendly, easy setup, has extensive software repository. Yeah, essentially everything I said. Also add third party software repository. Yeah, you can. It has large community. Yeah, and that's one reason I talk about Ubuntu a lot, because Ubuntu has like one of the biggest communities as far as Linux go. So you can find out any and everything, using their community. It's a lot of people that use Ubuntu because Canonical is pretty big. They're like one of the biggest distros out there. But shout out to, and I always like to shout out the articles or the site that this article is on, and I'll drop that link and put it in the comments as well as in the chat so people could click on it if they want to, and I'll add the other one as well once I get to it. But I just kind of wanted to read a little bit about this. Well, nah, I'm not gonna go through this article. I'll do a video on that one, but this one was super interesting, and it really covers what's going on behind CIQ. Now, if you guys didn't know, CIQ is one of the sponsors of my channel. I'm not doing this because they sponsor the channel. I'm only reading this article because I thought it was, super cool. It says Linux vets unite behind CIQ. Rocky Linux's parent company. So yeah, this is dope. Like Rocky Linux, they're an awesome distribution. But if you guys didn't know, the guy behind Rocky Linux is the same guy that started the CentOS project, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? Once they changed, CentOS from the downstream clone of Red Hat, he basically came out with Rocky Linux later on. And I know it's another one, Alma Linux. But yeah, actually, Gregory Cursor, which is the CIQ's co-founder and CEO, who created the CentOS, the popular Red Hat clone, its new executive team announced Wednesday. So that's what this article is about. It's mainly about, the executive team that they pulled in under CIQ. And I thought this was just interesting, and I just wanted to, share it with you guys that they have a whole bunch of Linux vets coming together under CIQ. So I think CIQ is going to be the next big thing, and I'm excited to be working with, the company by pushing them, because I really like what they're doing. But it says CIQ is relatively new company. Its leadership however, has deep roots in open source software and Linux. It says besides Gregory Cursor, what I just read earlier, its new executive team announced Wednesday boasts two of the founders of Linux Care. So if you guys, and that's the thing, I don't know what Linux Care is either. I think they're a company that provides Linux support. And I think the founders, they've been heavy in the Linux world as well for Linux Care. Two of the founders, so today, the first business model that comes to mind for Linux and open source software is to offer paid business support. Yes, that's 100%. It wasn't always that way in the Linux early days. Companies such as Cadera, Red Hat, and SUSE still thought you could make money by selling Linux in a box to ordinary users. Yeah, and Red Hat kind of they kind of figured that out, you know what I'm saying? Before Red Hat figured this out, when it retired Red Hat Linux in favor of commercial rail in 2003, Linux Care had already emerged as the first important Linux support company in 1998. Unfortunately, business problems and the .com crash didn't allow Linux Care to become a top company. As the saying goes, first movers lose, second movers win. And that's kind of true. It says, but that water is well over the dam now. Today's former Linux Care founder, Art Tide, CIQ's VP of Business Development, and David Leduc, VP of Marketing, which that's dope right there, brings decades of hard-won experience to the table. Other well-known veteran technology leaders such as Robert Adolph, co-founder and chief product officer Robert DeFallo, SVP of engineering John Frey, CTO Stephen Moody, SVP Support and Technology, Moreland Progo, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and Brock Tyler. Oh, and that's the thing. The reason this is happening is another article I meant to cover. They just got funding. They got like, I don't know if it was like 30 million. I can't remember the exact amount. But they CIQ got funding not that long ago as well. So they connecting all the right people to come in, and oh, there it is right there. I didn't even know this was in the port of the article. It says CIQ recently secured 26 million in Series A funding led by Two Bear Capital. So yeah, that's another reason. And I ain't gonna read this whole article. I might do a video just reading everything, but I just thought this was awesome. I wanted to share. You know what I'm saying? Check out this article if you want to read a little bit more about it. But that was super dope to actually see. Now, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. I always like to keep these videos like an hour, or I may go over a little bit depending on what's going on. But I want everybody to enjoy their Sunday. Let them get back to their Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you guys came through, man. I definitely appreciate it. And shout out to Game Over for the donation. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to everybody. If anybody has any other questions, just go on and ask. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut this thing down. Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely, like I said, I definitely appreciate you guys showing love, coming through, liking, and supporting me. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely awesome. Um, all right then. Well, no, nobody got any other questions. Definitely appreciate you guys coming through again. Y'all, yeah, Calvin, yeah, shout out to you. Says be easy, stay safe. Yeah, same to all you guys. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend before we start this Monday rush. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So hope you have a wonderful day and keep it techie. I always have trouble finding my outro. All right, peace, guys.